As we look at the week ahead and reflecting on the month so far in January, we only had one tradable risk event, which was the non-farm payroll print at the start of the month. And one of the disciplines involved in trading high probability calendar events is just being disciplined and staying out of the market when there isn't a clear opportunity. This coming week, we've got a few central banks meeting, got the Fed meeting, got the Bank of Canada ECB meeting. We're going to be focusing on the Bank of Canada interest rate decision. I think that's the one that offers the best potential opportunity. And then we're also going to be looking at the PCE print, the Fed's preferred measure of inflation at the end of the week. So there are two risk events we will be focusing on. And there's no summary of economic projections for the Fed this week. So it's a bit tricky. It will come down to, Powell's presser really after the interest rate decision. Very, very difficult dynamics to trade. So that's what we're going to be focusing on, the Bank of Canada and the Fed's preferred measure of inflation. Just remember that one of the key things about trading calendar events is remaining patient, waiting for those opportunities. We may only get one opportunity this month. That's sometimes the way it goes, or we may get a couple of opportunities to end the month. We'll see. Otherwise, please enjoy the video as I focus on the risk events that we need to be looking at for the best opportunity coming up. Okay, looking at the top three events for this week, starting with the Bank of Canada interest rate decision. Now, this is going to be interesting. The trimmer median CPI inflation out last week was, around that 2.4, 2.5%, sort of upper end of the 1 to 3% Bank of Canada target area. So everything's within expectations for the Bank of Canada in terms of how the inflation battle is going. It is in target. So the question here will be, is there enough for them to cut interest rates by another 50 basis points, following on from the 50 basis point cut in their last decision in 2024? That'll be the opportunity. So if we see a larger than expected interest rate cut, which is possible with tariffs looming over the Canadian economy and uncertainty, business outlook survey recently released showing still poor sentiment. So it wouldn't be out of the question that the Bank of Canada considers the economy needing that extra boost of another 50 basis point rate cut. Would surprise short-term interest rate markets that currently pricing in 20% chance of a hold and around 80% chance of a 25 basis point cut. So that's what we're looking for. Definitely worth looking at. And of course, if they do cut by 50 basis points, it'd be great to be looking at a dollar CAD buy. And we will look at and consider other currencies nearer the time. So that's what's going to be going on for the Bank of Canada. On the 29th of January as well, we have the Federal Reserve interest rate decision. Now, this is not going to be a risk event to cover because there's no summary of economic projections released. It's a bit easier to trade these decisions when you've got those summary of economic projections. So it will all come down to what Powell says at the presser. Expectations are that there's going to be an on-hold decision, and as President Trump is releasing drip by drip announcements on tariffs, the Fed's unlikely to move in any meaningful way with tariff uncertainty hanging over the US economy. And the significance of that, of course, is tariffs are inflationary. So the Fed don't want to sort of start signaling interest rate cuts if there's about to be a big inflationary policy coming from the trade sector. So that's what's going on with the Fed rate decision. It will come down to what Powell says in the press conference. Very tricky trading when you have headline trading from Powell, what he says, what he doesn't say, and you see whipsaw price action. So the best, most likely, reaction, the way to trade this is to wait for the settled reaction, then go with that. And so I won't be covering that live. It's just too unpredictable. The PCE print is a different data point that is worth covering. It's the Fed's preferred measure of inflation. The Fed revised up inflation in their last December summary of economic projections. So how the inflation battle doing is crucial for the path of Fed policy, and that's crucial for the path of the dollar and US stocks. So that will be definitely one event not to miss. It'll be the final risk event of the month and does have the potential to be a good one. Okay, that's what we're looking for this week, and I look forward to seeing you in the risk events.